Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your January the 29th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. I am up and at it, going through, but I'm so grateful to be able to go through instead of trying to figure out how to pick myself back up again. So one day at a time. All right, the title of the meditation, Encouraging Growth. We are inspired by one another's journeys. Being present to one another's growth gives us the tools and inspiration to move forward ourselves. Now, that comes from our Living Clean book, chapter 2, Connection to Others. Starting from our first day clean, one of the most amazing gifts we find in NA is people who truly believe in us. Some of us are hesitant to believe in their belief, especially after disappointing so many people for so long. Still, there's something so genuine in the way members tell us you never have to use again, even if you want to. And that encouragement can be all that it takes to get us to the next meeting clean. We change a lot in our first weeks, months, and years of recovery. I laugh about it now, but they told me when I got clean not to make any major life changes during my first year. One addict shared from the podium, "My entire life was turned around and flipped inside out. What could be more major than that?" As time goes by, many of us settle into a more stable version of ourselves. A member with decades clean shared, "It's a reservation in my second step if I believe I can't still change just because I've been clean so long. If a newcomer can stop using drugs, I sure as hell can get help with a character defect." Even though our early recovery often sees the most dramatic change in our lives, there is always room for improvement. It is the most amazing gift to witness people in recovery, in my recovery network grow, rather. One member wrote, "No matter how long I'm clean, seeing others change reminds me that I can too." Being present to others' growth means being present physically, showing up regularly. It also means truly listening to where our fellow members are at mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sharing honestly with them. The vulnerability, intimacy, and presence we practice in NA inspires growth in us all. No change is too small or too big for my recovery. I will be present to the process and accept encouragement from other addicts. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the We version of Serenity Prayer. A moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. So we're talking about encouraging growth and being present to one another's growth serves a purpose because it gives us the tools and inspiration to move forward ourselves. So what does that look like? That looks like physically being present to witness, to share, to listen to other people and their process of recovery. Because as we give them our ears and hearts and listen to people, we get something from that, which is a message that if they can do it, I can do it. If this ever comes up, or if I ever hear of someone going through this, I know who to direct them to. And it's a wonderful thing, listening to the experience, strengthen others, and hope of others, rather, guys. So tongue-tied today. I apologize. But I believe that when we're listening to the experience, strength, and hope of others, what happens is that somehow our own level of faith increases. And not only that, when they're watching us affirm them and listening to them and not whispering and talking and joking and moving around, when they believe, I've heard people back in the day, oh my goodness, there were people they would be sharing and people would just start leaving the room. I'm like, I'm not listening to this. This chick don't even know how much clean time she has. Last time she was sharing, she had 2 years. Now today she's got 2 months. No, we don't have time, right? And I would see people get up and leave. And how devastated that recovering person would feel. And so sometimes when you're sitting there sharing, unfortunately, we are looking for affirmation. We are looking for other people to show us on their face or in their postures that they're listening at least to us. So that's something that happens when people share their experience, strength, and hope. And we're there listening compassionately, unconditionally, without passing judgment on them. And the way we pass judgment sometimes are our microfacial responses or lack of responses, getting up, moving around. People read into that, right? And so we get something from being able to be present, but they also get something too. I love this recovering person's comments that if they don't believe that they can still grow just because they've been around for a while, then they actually have a reservation in their second step, which is that we came to believe, right? That a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Isn't that amazing to actually get to the point where you have a God, you have a higher power, but you're still able to acknowledge that there's a power greater than yourself that can restore you to sanity, which is often another recovering person, is often a meeting, is often celebrating recovery in some form or fashion. See, that coming to belief doesn't just have to stay forever in a day at having a higher power. Many people will tell you that the power greater than themselves were the meetings. The power greater than themselves were their sponsor. Many people can tell you that it was a long time before they approached that as the God of their own understanding. They just needed something larger than themselves to hold on to, and they found it in the fellowship. So today we're encouraging growth, but we're encouraging it within ourselves. This is a spiritual principle of growth encouragement. And we're talking about ourselves today. And how do I encourage growth from within myself? To plant any seed and have it actually grow, that means that the soil that it's planted in has to be receptive to it. And if it's hard and crusty and it's not being watered, the chances of that seed of recovery actually growing is slim. And so our hearts are that soil. We prepare our hearts to not be so hard-hearted, to let our tears and the tears of others, our love and the love of others, right? Warm our hearts up. Soften our hearts. So that when seeds come through, called recovery gems, they have a place where they can grow. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.